This is Carol Tappenden, and I'm very pleased to hear a little bit about your project. Could you please describe your organization and the project in brief?
Sure. Thanks very much, Chris. So my organization's name is Greater Good South Africa, and we're obviously based in South Africa. And our founder, Tappenden, actually worked in the financial services sector prior to actually establishing Greater Good 4 years ago now. She worked as an analyst, and she actually worked on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange for a number of years, and then actually worked in raising venture capital, interestingly. And so in the knowledge that she gained, and then obviously years of working in the development sector, 2 years ago, we then launched the South African Social Investment Exchange, which is modeled on exactly that, looking at how can we take some of the mechanisms that are really working within the financial markets, within sort of the economic markets, if you like, looking at the social stock exchange model and looking at how we can take that and enable projects to list themselves that are not necessarily investment opportunities, but projects that are making huge amounts of change in the development sector, and enable companies to access them by getting information on those particular projects through our own due diligence process.
What are the countries from which you take projects or list projects?
At this stage, SASIX, the South African Social Investment Exchange, is only focused on South Africa.
Okay.
And I would say probably we really pride ourselves on that. We believe that one of the things that makes our exchange really, as a mechanism, really successful is the fact that we have indigenous knowledge. We understand exactly what's happening on the ground in the non-profit sector. We have connections with something like 1,300 organizations all over the country, and a growing base of community-based organizations. And it's exactly our indigenous knowledge that enables us to understand the context and the kind of innovation in each of these projects and programs, and how effective they're being in creating change and development.
And how do investors get certainty or get confidence in investing in SASIX that
Sure.
the projects are valid and valuable?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we realized why people are reluctant to invest in and or make grants to non-profit organizations in South Africa and probably elsewhere in the world is a lack of information. They just have no sense of understanding exactly what it is they're doing, or no sense of surety that you're a well-established organization, you have good governance structures. And so part of our due diligence process is looking exactly at that. Are you an established organization? Do you have a board? It's not unlike a due diligence process of, that an asset management company, for example, would do on an investment. We then actually, because we do a huge amount of research around the development needs within the country, beyond just knowing that the institution is really sort of has great governance structures, we also have a good sense of what are good development practices. And we then work with the organization to look at doing a full risk analysis on them actually implementing that project, and then being able to articulate that to the audience through an investment report. So that's the kind of surety. We make no guarantees about the investments, as you can't, but what we are doing is providing you, as the investor, with sufficient information to be able to make the right kind of choice.
So what will future growth look like for your exchange?
Wow. Well, firstly, we are launching and have in fact launched the South African Social Investment Forum, which is really around trying to educate particularly investors around the potential for socially responsible investment, where you can invest and also get financial return. But we are also taking the model global. A number of countries have approached us and are beginning to replicate exactly the SASIX model. And then we are establishing a global federation of exchanges, which will link together and look at a regulation of all of these social stock exchanges around the world.
Great. Well, thank you. Good luck.
Thanks.